What's up, everybody? We got about 12 minutes before the 49ers and the Texans kick off, and some news just dropped on the pregame show over on Amazon, so might as well talk about it. John Lynch said that Jimmie Ward, 49ers safety, who's currently out with the pulled hamstring, he'll likely head to injured reserve after the 53-man roster cut down, which means that Ward will miss at least 4 games, and those are 4 challenging ones, at least weeks 3 and 4 at the start of the season, if this does indeed occur. The 49ers obviously open up against the Bears and Justin Fields, then the Seahawks and Jimmy Garoppolo. Sorry, just slipped right there. Jimmy Garoppolo still on the 49ers. Then Russell Wilson and the Broncos, and then Matt Stafford and the Rams. You're looking at weeks 3 and 4, though. Obviously, Russell Wilson and Matt Stafford and the Rams. Those are games that you'd like to have Jimmie Ward. But we could have anticipated this back when Kyle Shanahan announced the injury a couple weeks ago. He said that Ward might miss the start of the season. And yes, it looks like he's going to miss the start of the season. This is a hamstring pull. These things can linger. Seasons are marathons and not sprints. The 49ers certainly don't want to put Jimmie Ward back out there at only 80 or 90% just to have that injury re-aggravated, right? So they want to make sure they bide enough time so that way he's back to 100%. And if that means missing the first few weeks of the season, that's what's going to happen. And that's what John Lynch intimated would happen during the pregame show here for 49ers and Texans today. Along the lines of injuries, the 49ers don't want to risk any more of those. So there will be no Trent Williams, no Nick Bosa tonight, no Javon Kinlaw, who obviously played a pretty heavy load of snaps on Saturday at Minnesota. The list is actually pretty long. For some people, it'll be disappointingly long, but hey, it's the preseason. I just have to say, what dress rehearsal at this point? Because the way Shanahan made it sound, he made it sound like most of the starters would play. I guess that's still technically true. I guess more than 50% of the starters still are playing, but it's really hard to get a proper dress rehearsal in, right? For Trey Lance and for Trey Sermon and for Jordan Mason. If Trent Williams is not in there, Mike McGlinchey's already out. So the entire first team offensive line, the entirety of it won't be together for this game, but that's just the way that it rolls, especially this year with 17 days in between this game against the Texans and the 49ers season opener on September 11th at Chicago. That's a really long time. It's a big gap, and that means the 49ers are very much still in preseason mode. No interest in playing Trent Williams or Nick Bosa in this football game. Anyway, this is a 49ers-Texans countdown to kickoff. I've already previewed this game as many times as I should preview this game because it is the preseason, so you can't be all too stressed out about it. But we will get to see Trey Lance operating with his skill weapons, right? And we want to see the running backs rotate through, hopefully as many as possible against the 49ers first team offensive line. I'm taking a look at the TV right now, and I see Richard Sherman with the 49ers team running behind him out onto the field. So exciting stuff. I saw Sherman hugging Deebo Samuel a little bit earlier, blast to the past of 2019 and 2020. Those are the 2 years that they overlapped. And I think Sherman's doing a good job on TV. He's entertaining to watch. And I think we all expected that to be the case. I see Jake Brendel behind Richard Sherman right now and Ryan Fitzpatrick. It's pretty cool. Should just stay on during the game and talk about it. But no, I want to focus on the game. I'll come on at halftime. How about that? How about you guys get ready for a nice little halftime show? Halftime in the NFL is 12 minutes long, so we'll talk football over halftime. But at that point, the 49ers shouldn't be seeing starters anymore beyond that midway point of this game. So we'll be able to evaluate Trey Lance and the performance at halftime. But I'd rather watch this game with sound on instead of giving you guys my own play-by-play. I think that in the booth, Kirk Herbstreit, Al Michaels, they're going to do a good job on Amazon Prime. I see people complaining about the Amazon Prime, but I think they have a good package here of people covering the game. I love Richard Sherman, Tony Gonzalez on the pregame show, and of course, Kirk Herbstreit's always been one of the best in college football, so I'm excited to see him as the color analyst here on a regular basis in the NFL. John Lynch came on the pregame show after rejecting Amazon's offer of $15 million per year. It was approximated to be. So I guess he feels they value him. He said, no, I'd rather compete with the 49ers as their GM. But he did come on the pregame show and he did give us some good updates and I guess bad news updates if you're a 49ers fan. But it is newsworthy that Jimmie Ward is likely going to injured reserve for at least 4 games. Now, again, this is how IR works. They can't put him on injured reserve officially right now. If you put anybody on injured reserve that doesn't make the 53-man roster initially, the initial 53-man roster, they're out for the season, right? So Jordan Matthews on injured reserve, out for the season after tearing his ACL. The 49ers had somebody else, Maurice Hurst, out for the season after tearing his biceps muscle because they put him on injured reserve before he made the 53-man roster. Obviously, Jimmie Ward, the 49ers are going to want him to play this season. So first he's got to take up one of the spots on the 53 when they cut down next Tuesday, August 30th, and then they can move him to IR. Once you've made the initial 53 and you go to IR, then you could come back after 4 games. They changed that rule. It was 3 games during the COVID era. It's after 4 games now. It was 6 before that. So they moved it from 6 to 3, now to 4. And now there's a certain amount of players. There's a limit. I'm not sure what it is of players that you can bring back from IR within the course of a season. So that's where the short-term IR comes from. Obviously, we expect to see Jimmie Ward at some point this year coming back from the hamstring pull, but it's probably not going to be in week 1, according to what John Lynch just said. Also, no Trent Williams and others tonight. Maybe I could find who all is out for you. I don't know if I feel like doing that. I already mentioned Bosa, Kinlaw, all those guys. So let's just go sit back, watch the game, enjoy it. I'll be back at halftime. This has been the 49ers Texans countdown to kickoff. Everybody, thanks for joining. And we'll talk to you all soon with a lot of good analysis of the 49ers' third and final 2022 preseason game. All right, enjoy it, guys. Take care.